Hi, my dear students, my hearty welcome to one and all to this online class for plus 2 of Nabard Central School. We are in this lesson, Deep Water by William Douglas. Welcome one and all. My dear students, I told you in the beginning class that this is something an adventurous story. And it's an autobiography. This exertion is taken from his Men and Mountains. And very adventurous story. This adventurous story would make us the initiation or the inspiration to do certain adventurous things in our life, or to attain or to fulfill certain dish that is somewhere in our mind to be hid. So we can expose it, and with a strong willpower and perseverance and hard work and a strong, straightforward outlook, we could clear out all the barriers, all the barricades, and all the bans in front, and finally we could achieve that final goal. That's easy. To go in a stream where everybody goes, we can join there very easily, but we have to create a new track of a little bit difficult and concerned. There we have to go in that route that is somewhat difficult or somewhat problematic one, or something, or the area should be it would be something like what we would say that it would have some failures or it would have some consequences. So, I told you in the last class that the bruiser picked our William Douglas to this YMCA pool. To this YMCA pool. That was generally, that pool was mainly built for children to learn how to swim well. But at a sudden, William Douglas did not know what happened. He could never expect such a wrongdoing from this bruiser or this fatty boy. I told you in the last class. He did it as a fun, as a joke, as a comic, as a mischief, we could say. Immediately now, 3 stages, you would know that he was only 10 or 11 years old. Just to think about, suppose we are only 10 or 11 years old. If somebody came and did such a thing, what was the condition, or if it happens in our present day, what will be the condition of that boy? He was only 10 or 11 years. 10 to 11 years. Very young, very skinny, not so healthy, not so strong. He immediately went down at the lower position. And he made an effort, or he made some effort there, he made his energy there, applied his energy there. So he could reach at the bottom of the pool. Very clearly he could see the tiled bottom. But he did not lose his wits. That means he did not lose his common sense. He did not faint. He did not faint. He did not lose his expectation. He did not lose his opportunity. He did not think about any other thing. He did only think about how to come at the surface level and how to escape from that. Now very heart-touching in scene it was. So he went down and touched the bottom level. He thought he actually fainted. He was going to faint, not totally fainted. He going to faint. But he thought that he should never waste time. Immediately that normal common sense came and it struck in his mind that something was to be done. Immediately made an effort and he came forward. Wow. He thought that he could reach the surface of the water. At the surface level he could reach at the surface level and would paddle there or more slowly there. He had that water wings also. Or he could make a slow swim and could somehow reach any of the border area. Or he could somehow reach or somehow could get something to save his life. But when he reached the surface level, he could see nobody was there. Nobody was there. He could see none. And there was not even there was not a rope, piece of rope, there was not a piece of stick, and there was not any material was not available there just for escaping or just for getting relief or just for getting this trap, to come out of this trap. He came up and looked here and there. At that time he could raise his head above the water. Meanwhile he swallowed water and he could not see anything. That was his first stage. In the second stage, he knew one thing, that if he could apply his energy and if he apply his power at the maximum, he could go down straight and come forward. The water would push his body up. So once again he went. The second chance, no, we have to understand that he was very young. So during the second moment, he swallowed water and his body, his head was, he had an aching head. No. He had an aching head and throbbing comes inside the head. Throbbing or pounding came inside, some sort of strike or some sort of hit was going on there inside his head. And eyes were aching. So that were all the signs of the last moment. We would understand that he was seeing his, or he was going to taste his last moment of life. He was aching or throbbing and the vision was not clear. And meanwhile, the breathing, he could not breathe properly. Anyway, he made a second attempt to came out through the water. He thought that he could reach at the top surface level or the top level or outer water level at an easy step or at an easy attempt, but it was not quite possible for him. Very slowly he came on the surface level. He was really fainted. He was totally exhausted. he made an alarming sound. He made a screaming. He screamed. That means made an utter sound of cry. But there was no one to hear his sound. He called his mother, but mother was not there. His sound won't come out. So he was there in the surface level. At this second stage, what happened now? He could not raise his nose. He could not raise his nose above the water level. That means he could not breathe properly. He could not open or he could not raise his head above the mouth opening area. That means some pulling was there, some pulling was going on to the downward direction. Another thing, he could not freely move his hands and legs. He could not raise his legs. He felt that somebody was pulling his legs down. In short, he was totally exhausted, fainted, and he came to know that he could not escape from that trap, he could not escape from that danger, he could not escape from that critical situation. He could not wait for a long time in the surface level. He made an attempt to swim to any one on the side of this pool, but he was totally helpless. So, once again, you understand one thing? Once again he went to the downward direction or went down of this pool, and that was the third stage. In the third stage, we have to understand very clearly that all these third stages are there for a drowning man or a drowning boy. He would clearly understood. Our young boy could clearly understand. He could clearly understand one thing, that he was going to taste what was death. The taste of death he was going to practicalize. At that time, he went down. This time, what happened now? Third time, totally he was fainted. He was fainted totally, paralyzed. He could not move any of these organ well, and he felt that everything was safe in his brain. That means no thoughts came and troubling him. No thought came in his mind to escape from that calamity. So everything was safe. All the organs were going to shut up. He found peace everywhere. What do we mean by peace? Peace of death. Death is peace, but the fear of death is called a terror. Terror of, what is? We say stark terror. Stark terror. Stark means grave or intense. The stark terror is, we have the stark terror now. All of the men are really experiencing the stark terror. What? In order to face death. Death is nothing, a peace moment. a pea stage. So, he had all the symptoms of a pea stage. That means he was on the margin or at the ebb of death. At the ebb of death. So, he found peace everywhere, no light, all the organs are stopped their working. He was lying under the water, very smooth, very calm. He didn't have any thought of anything that was going on outside. He was peacefully, lying under the water. That means he was on the verge of death. So death, the most important thing is, this young boy or young child, William Douglas, was really tasting both. Really had the taste of both role. One was the taste of death. He tasted from the beginning to the end, not at the 99% he tasted the stages of death. And he thought that, and he folded his hands and completely he lay there in a motionless manner. That was the third stage. Next, what happened now? He did not know what happened next. The outsiders came. His parents knew the matter. Mother knew the matter. Somebody knew the matter. Or the bruiser had informed their parents, or anyway the matter reached their parents' ears, and people came and they entered into the water and they took the boy, and he was lying by the side of this pool. He was totally motionless. He was vomiting. He was totally exhausted and tired. He did not know what to do. For 1 week, for 2 days, he did not take any food. And he was trembling, and he was under the shock of that experience, that bitter experience he had under the water. From the beginning to the last. So he was from there by his side. After hours, he opened his eyes, and he could see so many people were standing beside him. And among those people, he could also see that the bruiser was very anxiously and he was very concerned about. He felt much sorry. He felt much dejected by the sight of this young boy. But he told that he did it only as a fun. So he made it as a fun. And he didn't think about such things would happen later. So Douglas was taken to a particular cabin in his room, in his house. From there he had given food. For many days he was lying there, and after that, the next stage we will take in the next class. So from these two, the first one was the preparation for becoming a good swimmer, becoming a good fisherman, becoming a good, a good canoer, and also to become a good boatsman. That was his intention in later life. That the first thing was he used to go to the beach for paddling with his swimming wings. But later he came and reached on this YMCA pool. From there he would think of something else, that he could very easily become a good swimmer and could swim all the bays nearby area of USA and also all the other places. Such a challenge came in his mind that he would one day become a good swimmer. But this was a threatening shock in his life. Now we are going to study. This shock did not suppress his ambition or did not suppress his vision or did not suppress his passion or craze to become a good swimmer. That was really a boost. That was really a booster for his coming in, it was an incentive for his coming expedition to become a good swimmer. That we would take in next class, go through all the points well, set it in your mind in a proper manner. Think that these expeditions are quite common in our human life. Some would go with this incentive or this inspirational, tip until that person could attain the final goal. Some would immediately withdraw from that field. Those who withdraw from that field are called a timid person. And those who get along with that expeditional trend, their mind to go ahead until the final goal is achieved or collected, they are called brave men. They are called brave or bold. Only brave or bold people could do something positively and could show something courageously to the coming generation, that we have to suffer, we have to bear certain problems, certain difficulties, certain trials, certain calamities in our life in order to achieve something as a whole. Otherwise, we would be sidelined and come to the list of come to the area of timidity. That is not good for a good characterized person. So study well all these points and understand well in the beginning itself. A very interesting autobiography, and Douglas himself was narrating, and that is why I used first person narration, and that also gives a clear vivid description, and this clear vivid description gives us enjoyment, because we think that I am the person who is telling this incidental story directly. It is very nice to hear and very nice to understand. Thank you all. Wish you a good day.